seat table is all set for 30. So I'm gonna do a pull, I'm gonna do a run, I'm gonna document it. Now, so you can have a better understanding what we're trying to accomplish here. What's going on, everyone? So I want to do a quick little intro here, just explain what this video is about. If you don't know, I pretty much am on the dyno every day of my life, and every car doesn't have an issue, and everything goes smooth, and there's really no content to be made. So what I started thinking about as people were messaging me, hey, get some new videos out, I want some new videos, hey, whatever, please, what I thought was, hey, cars that go good on the dyno, let's get some footage and figure out where I can educate you guys a little bit more. So that's exactly what I did with this vehicle. The biggest thing too is, I forget how nice it is to have a dyno at my disposal whenever I want, and how much more I can share when it comes to my knowledge and experience. So that's what I'm going to do from here on out. If some cars, have no issues on the dyno, I'm going to take out the camera as long as I have time, and I'm going to throw something in there to educate you guys and to give you a little bit more knowledge. So that's exactly what I did in this case. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you like it. If there's something you want me specifically to cover, maybe you're trying to learn something, or as I say it before in my videos, maybe you read something and you're just kind of curious on something, let me know. Either message down below. Feel free to reach out. You know where to contact us. If not, it's RC AutoWorks on Facebook. My email is rcautoworks@gmail.com, and we're on Instagram at RC AutoWorks. So let's get right into this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So here we go, guys, with another 8th gen supercharged Civic. So this one was in here previously, and when it was on the dyno, it had about, I think, 4 or 5 things wrong with it. One of the major things was it had a misfire up top. Now, at that time, I stopped the tune, of course, because it was misfiring, and I told the customer, hey, you can get it back in here, but right now we just don't have time to dive in and diagnose the problem. I don't know what happened, but apparently, and I put on all these things like, hey, misfire up top, do not drive on it hard until problem is figured out. Well, apparently, the old engine let go. They did an engine swap. Now it came into, they wanted us to do like a pre-inspection, look everything over, and a lot of the stuff over here, I don't know if I have any pictures of it, what was just like loose, just hanging. So we cleaned all that up, and then we also found out, give me 1 second here, let me guys show you. As we do, we give customers back all their old parts. The battery was relocated in the back, and this is the wire that they had, which is super small. Let's see if my camera wants to focus. When you're doing a battery relocation, you got to use thick wire. This was just way too small. Usually you want to use like 0 to 1 gauge. I want to say this was probably, this could almost be like 10 gauge-ish. So we redid that as well. Put some new connectors and crimps on. And I went and got the list of stuff actually that we did too. It had injector adapters on there. We replaced those. And then we also, since the customer didn't really know how old the gas was in the tank, and this car hasn't been here in a while, it could have been here from, the gas could have been old from the last time it was in here, which we're talking many months ago. So on the safe side, we also drained the gas. And I'm gonna load this one up. We're gonna get to it, and if anything comes up, I'll video. And if not, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the tuning process, give you guys a little insight on that, because I know for some people the whole tuning side is kind of it's kind of mystery. And I also know some guys know just enough about tuning, but not enough, if that makes sense. So I kind of want to show you guys just a little bit of stuff maybe you didn't know, and maybe you did know. Who knows? That's about it. Let's get this one going. Okay, so now that I have air fuels dialed in, and that's fairly easy to understand what air fuel ratio means. If you have no clue what that means, you got to go do some other research. I'm trying to get a little bit more in depth with people that know just enough, but not enough, if that makes sense. So right now, air fuels are exactly where I want them to be. What I'm going to start doing at this point is messing with ignition timing. Ignition timing, whenever I start with the tune, is always very safe and conservative. And then when you're on a dyno, you can find something called MBT, which is maximum brake torque. You can look that up as well. But it's basically going to find me the most efficient spot where ignition timing should be. As I continue to add, we're going to see the power that we're going to gain. And if we gain, let's say I add 2 degrees of timing and we make about 10 extra horsepower, well, this thing wants a little bit more timing. Let's just say I add another 2 degrees and I'm only seeing a 3 horsepower increase. Well, I'll back it down a little bit, because ultimately that little 3 horsepower increase is not gonna make the world of a difference, and we have found our maximum brake torque. What I'm also going to be doing too, though, here is messing with the variable timing control, the VTC. What I'll be doing is setting the tables. Let me flip this around, and I have a pretty good understanding. When you tune a lot of these cars, you know where they're going to want to fall in between, but that doesn't mean everyone is going to be exactly alike. So what I'm going to be doing here, I'll flip the camera around now. What I'm going to be doing, as you see, the VTC table is all set for 30. So I'm going to do a pull, I'm going to do a run, I'm going to document it. Now, so you can have a better understanding what we're trying to accomplish here. Let's just say at 5,000 RPMs, 30 degrees, we're making 400 horsepower. Let's just say that for make things easy. What I'm going to do is here, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add 5 degrees. I'm going to do another pull. I'm going to see if that pull dyno run liked it more than the previous one. Let's say we gained some power. Okay, then it liked it. We're going to document that as well. There's going to be certain RPMs where the car is going to like 30 degrees compared to 35, and that's what I'm trying to find and fine-tune, so I can get the most amount of horsepower out of your setup throughout the power band, not just a peak number. And that's where some guys will be like, well, why does it take you sometimes 3 to 4 hours to finish a tune? Because that is why. These tunes are not just copy and pasted tunes. Even though I sat in probably over hundreds of these cars, same setup, every car likes it a little bit different, and we're trying to find the most amount of horsepower throughout the power band too. And this is why I always say, don't just worry about the peak numbers. Peak numbers are one thing. You can make dynos read higher, lower, and some dynos are higher reading dynos. It doesn't mean that the car is actually making more power. If you dyno tune a car one place and you untouch the car, the tune, you put it on another dyno somewhere else and it magically makes more power, unless we're not talking about altitude changes and all that stuff. We're talking about in a close proximity, same state. Nothing that shows you that dyno is just reading high. So I always tell people, don't get so hung up on peak numbers. It's all about the overall tune, the power band, and hopefully, because a lot of guys, they know what air fuels are and they know how to dial those in, but hopefully that is a little bit of better understanding what those other tables are for. Right now, everything is going good with this car. I am going to get back into it and finish up the tune. So I want to show you guys really quick a graph overlay of what I was talking about with the VTC tables. Now, the blue and the red line are different degrees inside that the computer is commanding that I'm putting in the tables. So the tune, this is not the final run, because I'm trying to show you guys the difference and whatnot. But if you can see here too, like, you know, it doesn't look that big of a difference, right? But if I actually click to show the cursor, you know, look at the power difference just by dialing in the degree. And this is where I tell people when they ask me, well, you know, why does it take 3 or 4 hours to finish a tune? Or I went somewhere else and it took an hour. Well, you know, that hour tune is more so a copy and paste tune. Hope that it's going to be as efficient as it should be and you're getting the best out of it, which you're not. And the difference between, you know, a 3 to 4 hour tune is I'm fine tuning it. I'm seeing what degree it likes. And at certain RPMs, you know, you can't really see it here, but if, you know, let's just say the blue was actually higher, well, then that's when you change at that RPM, that degree. So, you know, if blue was making 5 extra horsepower at 40 degree, well, you put 40 here, or 35, whatever. And then down here, if it wants a little less or a little more, that's how you fine tune it. And that's why some of these tunes can take that long. Hopefully that kind of gives you a better understanding what those tables are for and how to figure out where they need to be. And unless you have a dyno at your disposal, you're not really going to get where they need to be. I don't know if you guys can see this. You guys can kind of see the smoke. So it's something still burning a little bit, new motor, but you know, not the end of the world, made good power. So this one's pretty much a wrap. You know, I just wanted to get some content more so. There's a lot of cars that are on the dyno that I tune on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And, you know, of course, some stuff makes good content and it's more so for people to learn. But the cars that go fairly smoothly, you know, with this one, it showed you the smoking. At the same time, though, it's not smoking a lot. It is something, you know, that the customer should look into and keep in mind. But, you know, besides that, it made really, really good power. Actually surprised of how much this made. And you know, it's making a little bit more than normal than what a Kraftwerk Supercharger kit puts out. So, you know, I just wanted to cover this one, even though there wasn't too much content. And at the same time, you know, you guys do like these videos. I keep getting feedback, which is awesome. So thank you on that. And if, you know, I don't have a lot of content to cover, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep trying to throw something in there where you guys can learn. And clearly this was the tuning side of things. So, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed.